Good evening, everyone. I just wanted to let you know, I'm Joanne Bartleson. I'm going to be Mayor Pro Temp, and the mayor will be coming a little bit later. So if everyone would rise for the pledge, please.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, could we have a roll call, please?
You got it. Saban.
Present.
Bartleson.
Here.
Lobes.
Here.
Bergbauer.
Here.
Galogli.
Here.
McDonald.
Here.
Karas.
Here.
Kostecki.
Here.
We have a quorum.
Okay. Ashley, Lou is with us. Lou, would you take us into a prayer, please?
Almighty God, we thank you for a country that has freedom. We thank you for you providing men and women who are willing to serve in the military. Father, as we reflect upon Pearl Harbor at the time, already 1 year ago, we give you thanks for the response of the country that in the wake of tragedy brought unity, bravery, sacrifice, and helped preserve freedom. So we give you thanks for our priceless freedom that you have given us through men and women who have served through the many generations in our country. We ask you for those who are serving now that you protect them, for those who have lost loved ones that you would comfort them. And God, as we gather in this room tonight, we thank you for the season of lights that as we celebrate, Father, the holidays, we ask you for your light to penetrate our hearts and give us fresh faith, hope, and renewed love for you and one another. Instill in us a profound sense of your abiding presence and helping us to walk in your ways and delight in your will. We ask you to grant our leadership of our city your creative wisdom and decisions in all that they do. We ask you to help them to work in harmony and unity, and that you would have that in all areas of their lives. Bless their families and bless their time as they serve. We request your hand of protection to be upon our schools, our law enforcement, our fire, our military, and our city employees and volunteers and families. We ask you to prosper the businesses of our city. And God, we ask you to bless us with joy that abides within us, that your joy would abide within us, and may your peace rest upon us, and may your love flow through us, and may the riches of your grace overflow in our lives. In your name we pray.
Amen. Amen.
Thank you.
Okay, let's go to the liaison report. Anyone have anything to report?
Not this week.
JR?
I'll take a few.
Okay.
First of all, this is the last week for leaf and branch collection. Branch is actually probably gone. Leaf ends on this Friday, and that's on both the city of Lockport and also waste management. Your waste management bins are no longer good after this week either. A couple of things about projects out for bid. In 2 weeks, next year's big street reconstruction, 16th Street reconstruction, is out for bid. And then in early January, we are going to have the 9th Street Railroad crossing, the one under the bridge, is being bid out, so we can start working on a quiet zone for the, what is that, the BSF Railroad. I also want to thank the Public Works Department. They did a wonderful job decorating downtown. It looks beautiful. Everybody get a chance and get down there and take a look at it. And I think that's about all I have. Thanks.
Okay. Okay, so we'll go on to the 8T1.
Thank you, Mayor, Mayor Pro Tem and members of the City Council. 8T1 is amendment to Chapter 38 of the Code of the City of Lockport, which adds the administrative fee of $60 and any costs that that the city incurs to collect unpaid fines would be borne by the actual offender, the defender, on these administrative review cases, administrative hearing cases that started back in 2016, but the city has not, for whatever reason, gone up to the next step of collecting. So if someone is issued a citation for a building code violation, for non-reportable traffic offenses like equipment offenses that is administered through the administrative hearing adjudication process, and the fine goes unpaid, there's another layer of hearing that incurs. The only issue is whether or not the fine was paid or unpaid, and after that, a memorandum of judgment for that fine amount could be filed against any property owned by the offender. So if there are any questions, I would be more than happy to answer them.
Okay, if none, are we good with consent on this? Okay. All right, AT2,
Yes, and that would also be mine. The AT2 is the intergovernmental agreement for reciprocal reporting of certain offenses that, occur with students at Lockport Township High School. We do have 2 SROs who are assigned to each of the campus, one each of the campus. And although they are part of the police department, in order to formalize the sharing of information, since they're juveniles, under the Juvenile Court Act, we have to have an agreement like this have approved by both the District 205 and the City of Lockport, and this is pretty much in line with other reciprocal reporting agreements that we have entered with Mill and Calvin Grove School District. So if there are any questions, I would be more than happy to answer them.
go ahead.
Is this to allow any type of information regarding an individual from the police to the school to say there might be a concern, or vice versa?
Yeah, there are parameters in which if a juvenile commits a criminal act, or they have credible information to believe that it's going to be a threat to the school and other students, the chief will share that information with District 205. Vice versa. If there's anything that occurs at the school grounds that should be concerned to the public or to the police department under certain criminal offenses and other listed offenses, then they're able to share that with the police department.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, are we good with consent on this?
Great, thank you.
Okay, very good. PW1,
Good evening, Mayor and Council. 2 items on the agenda this evening. PW-1 is in regards to our downtown streetscape project. This evening, asking for Council's consideration to approve additional funding for the engineering, the resident engineer on the site, V3 Companies. There was some additional work due to some delays in materials, some delays in the project timeline. The project started in 2021, and due to some delays, pushed to 2022. So there was some work that was started in 2021, some work that continued into 2022, and is still ongoing. So with the project taking longer than was anticipated, there's some additional costs in order to continue to have an RE on site. So this evening, we'd be asking for Council's consideration to approve V3 Companies' change order in the amount of $63,070. This would take us through the end of the project and get us into the spring, which is when we'll have our final punch list and final walkthroughs. So this will be the final request for the project, and ask for Council's consideration to put this on to consent.
okay, are we good with consent on this one? Okay. Okay, onward, PW2.
Thank you. This is for Christopher Burke Engineering for our road program. As council is probably aware, through our budgeting process this year, we did ask for a transportation engineer, and that transportation engineer was specifically to do this project and future projects. Unfortunately, we're in a time where we have a job posted, and we have had 0 applicants in six weeks now. So we, unfortunately, we're going to move forward, or fortunately, we still need to get the projects done. We're going to move forward with the project as is. Christopher Burke will prepare the plans, and we'll move forward as if we do not have an engineer. If at a certain point in the process, we do get an engineer, and we find somebody that can finish out the project, we'll work with Christopher Burke to wrap up the design and then have somebody do the observations. So we will be able to reduce this cost. But in lieu of having anybody on staff and in lieu of any guarantees of getting anybody on staff, when we do go out to bid, we want to make sure that we're covered. So we did budget funds for this work, again, not knowing if we would have an engineer ready or an engineer that would, you know, that would be able to provide these services. So we did budget for the work. We have budgeted in the 2023 budget $300,000 for this. So this is $236,620. So it is under that budgeted amount, and we would be asking for council's consideration to move forward. Again, hopeful, crossing my fingers that we do get some qualified applicants here, maybe after the first of the year. Ask for consent if council would concur.
So are we good on this consent?
I just have a quick question. With the lack of applicants, what experience level are we looking at? I mean, are we going to universities to see what the applicant pool might be? Are we graduate students? Or is it such a specialized area of engineering that we really need someone that has a year's experience?
We're actually not asking for a large amount of experience, in my opinion. We're asking for 4 to 8 years. In order to have your PE, so professional engineer license, you do need 4 years of work experience and to pass the licensure test after that, with that 4 years of experience. So we are asking for that because this will have to be submitted through certain districts, and you will need a PE to sign off on it. So we are asking for that, which again, not 10 years, 15, 20 years worth of experience. We are also paying at a rate that I've talked to several consultants who are paying, actually offering higher than some consultants. So it's somewhat shocking that we haven't gotten any. However, in talking with consultants, most consultants are losing engineers that I've spoken with to groups that allow them to work from home, quite honestly. So everybody's coming back to work and has continued to come back to work, and there's still some groups out there that are able to offer that ability to work from home. And so when groups do say it's time to come back, they look for places where they can have, that opportunity. We don't have that opportunity. That's not something that we're able to offer, and I wouldn't ask for that. So it's a challenge right now. However, I do think with 2023, more opportunities. I also feel like if we absolutely cannot find anybody, which I think this is a fair opportunity, fair offer for the years of service that we're looking at, we can always look at a new hire and look to do some training in-house, which we just hired an engineer. It would have been May of this year, and she's doing a fantastic job, and I'm not opposed to that either. So we have interns every year, and we look for talent in those places, and if the right person comes along, they might not have everything we need for this. However, we can still fill the role and move resources around in the interim, still do the work, and then build this person into that.
Okay, thank you.
Yep.
Okay, is everyone, do you have
Is it,
something?
so right now, excuse me, if we don't find anybody, we're gonna have a project management person on staff to do the project management of these?
Correct.
Okay, thank you.
Yes.
Okay.
And I got one question. So the breakdown of the 230, whatever it is, 236, we are only committing ourselves then to the 3 design, so we can negotiate that after the fact?
Correct. Yes.
So-
Yes, absolutely.
Okay.
We budgeted about 600, if you recall, for this exact kind of work, but we also budgeted an additional 100,000 to try to hire an engineer. So we can play with the job description and maybe tweak the values and see if we can get more applicants. So we'll still have another half of the year season to see if we can get, if we've hired someone, we could probably still save 300,000.
Any other questions? Are we good with consent then? Okay.
Thank you.
Onward. CD1, Lance?
Thank you. This is a letter and a map that was in your packets. This is a case that's coming in front of the Will County Plan and Zoning Commission in January. It's our opinion that this impacts projects that could occur in Lockport and one that has been approved recently, the Serenity Landing project. It is a use that we do not feel is acceptable in that area, nor along that road, nor with the access that is currently being provided in their plans. So I would like to send this letter of objection that the Will County Board and the Plan and Zoning Commission would receive. And I will have myself sign it, and I'll probably also have Mayor sign it as well, just so we have both bodies represented, staff and the City Council.
When is the meeting?
January, I think it's the 6th.
Is it standard practice to send elected officials to the meeting?
You can attend, of course. It's not, you don't have to, but if we want to make a particular point or make it clear that we are definitely against this, we would certainly could do that. I'm going to be contacting my counterpart in Joliet because they are impacted as well, specifically their affordable housing development directly south of this project. I just have a hard time that they're even entertaining a project like this, given the relationship with that project to the south. But it is being entertained, and
Yeah, based upon what you sent us on the different areas that it was contradicting, it's pretty shocking that it would
Right.
even want to go there in the first
Right.
place. Is Lockport Township appealing to them as well to not place this there, or is it our responsibility more?
I honestly wouldn't know who to contact at Lockport Township to try and advance something like this. But I know that I've got support from a couple other CED directors and have talked with them. We're going to get some other CED, Will County CED is willing to sign on to a letter, or at least be carbon copied on it so that they're aware. And we're going to send it to the Jennifer Bertino Trient as well.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, is there anything else? Otherwise, could I get a motion to adjourn?
Joanne, I had something.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, I had something to say. So some things came to mind after our very lengthy meeting a couple weeks back, after the presentation on events and the Arts Committee. One of the items that was brought up in that conversation was that this committee was looking at a proposed project to make an Angel Wings mural somewhere downtown. We already have an Angel Wings mural on the building outside of Wings Dance Studio. So why we would want to recreate something that already exists rather than drive our residents to visit the one that's already there and, in essence, drive them to visit our north side businesses, that seems to be smarter. And then it just got me thinking of public art in general and who kind of has the say in what gets painted where. Is it the building owner that says, sure, paint a mural on my building? You know, do we as a council weigh in at all on where some of these art designs go? So I just kind of wanted to bring that up and see if, you know, if that's a concern to anyone else, or if it's something we can maybe talk about moving forward.
I know the Summer Arts Committee does a lot of that, but they do have to have the building owner's permission. They do work with that, but there hasn't been any council level awareness that I'm aware of, or H&A.
They have to submit for a signage permit from the CED department, so we review all of those. And if it's in the downtown, it has to go in front of the Heritage and Architecture Commission as well. So those are two different checkpoints that come up with any of those kinds of signs or art or any of that kind of stuff.
Since this would be in that public passageway, right? I mean, that's where this was coming from, that's what they,
I believe,
Was that what it was?
believe it was proposed to be like outside where the Opera House building is, like in that gangway area.
sure. Because if those gangways are public property, I think, as a city, I think in terms of local artists, maybe have almost like a contest to see, do you want to do a light display? Do you want to do hanging art? Do you want to have something in terms of, different types of art? If it's a public walkway, if it's something that the city would have responsibility over. But, that would be my idea, versus going down one path. If it was something that was public, and we're the ones really doing the maintenance, or we're the ones trying to do the promotion, that we would have some kind of art contest with local artists giving us ideas, and then I think that would even bring more PR to the downtown. But I do see where Alderwoman, I almost called you Alderwoman
Whatever your
Karen.
name is.
Alderwoman Karen, but I can see where she's coming from, that, these ideas are interesting, but if we're duplicating something that already exists, are there different paths we can go down?
Yeah, I'm just personally not sure what we're talking about, so, but
Okay.
we'll pass that along to the Summer Art Series Committee.
Anything else? No? Okay. Well, could I get a motion to adjourn?
Second.
Okay. Motion by Renee and JR second. Okay. All in favor saying,
Aye.
signify by saying aye. Okay. Any opposed? Kathy, do you want a few minutes to?
Yeah, just give me a minute here.
Okay. Roll call, please.
You got it. Okay, Saban. Bartleson.
Here?
Lobes.
Here.
Bergbauer.
Here.
Galogly.
Here.
McDonald.
Here.
And
And his farm.
Karas. Kostecki.
Here.
We have a quorum.
Okay. Okay, so, on consent agenda, approve the committee of the whole.
Can I have a motion?
Yeah, there's a
Oh, I'm
motion,
sorry.
yeah.
Sorry.
It should be,
Okay.
there should be a motion to.
May I have
yeah.
a motion, please?
Yeah.
I make a motion to approve the consent agenda.
Second?
Okay, so
No,
JR
now-
and Mark.
Now you can really.
Thank you very much. Okay, may I have approved the committee of the whole meeting minutes for November 16, 2022 as presented? Approve the regular city council meeting minutes for November 16th as presented in 2022. Approve the payroll periods as presented. Approve the various bills as presented. Approve ordinance number 22-025 for the levying of assessing of taxes for the city of Lockport, Will County, Illinois, for the fiscal year of said city commencing January 1st, 2023, and ending December 31st, 2023. Approves resolution number 22-107, the site improvement grant for the property located at 1026 East 9th Street in the amount of $10,000. Approve ordinance number 22-026, the rezoning to C2 Community Commercial, amendment to special use permit for a planned development and final development plan review for the property located at 1139 East 9th Street, Lockport Animal Hospital. Approve resolution number 22-110, the final development plan for self-storage facility in Lockport Square at Farrell Road, Lot 6. Approve resolution number 22-150, the contract for Baxter and Woodman, Inc. for the Division Street WWTP Phase 2 expansion, design engineering services in the amount of $4,004.00. Approve resolution number 22-106, the initial acceptance of and release of bonds for JP Madden Transportation Group site in the amount of $121,486.91. Could I have a motion to approve the items, the consent agenda?
So moved.
Second.
JR and Mark? Okay. All righty,
Roll call.
roll call, please.
You got it. Saban.
Yes.
Bartleson.
Yes.
Lobes.
Yes.
Bergbauer.
Yes.
Galogly.
Yes.
McDonald.
Yes.
Karas.
Yes.
Kostecki.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Okay, I don't have any, oh, here we go. Here we go, sorry. Could I get a motion to approve the 2022 budget amendment? Motion was made by council member,
Whoever makes the motion, so someone can make a motion?
I'll motion.
Second.
Motion, yep, motion by Saban and seconded by Councilmember Lobes.
Okay,
I heard you.
could I get a roll call, please? No, Lisa. Lisa, oh,
Yes, we discussed this at the last council meeting. There's 4 line items that we're looking at making budget amendments to. 2 of them pertain to the SRO officers that we have instituted at the school. One belongs to the small business grant program for the streetscape work, and the last one was for the environmental consultant using TIF funds for the Tassoni property.
okay. Could I get a motion to approve ordinance number 22 dash?
The motion was already made, so just a roll call vote, yep.
Okay,
Okay,
sorry
alright.
about that, okay.
No
Could I get
worries.
a roll call, please?
You got it. Saban.
Yes.
Bartleson.
Yes.
Lobes.
Yes.
Bergbauer.
Yes.
Galogly.
Yes.
McDonald.
Yes.
Karas.
Yes.
Kostecki.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Okay, F13?
So we have in front of you the budget for 2023. Revenues totaling $52,900,000, expenses of $60,400,000, using $8.5 million of excess reserves, but still an operating balanced budget in front of you today.
Okay, could I get a motion to approve number 22-108?
I'll motion.
No, wait a second. Sorry, we're on FN2.
And 2.
Yeah, it is FN2, and that's ordinance 22-024, adopting the
024.
budget. Yeah,
she
024.
said 108.
Okay.
Well, that's,
024.
I apologize. You know what, I looked a little bit further down. Okay,
Motion was made by,
okay,
okay, yeah.
okay, so it is number 22-024, is that the one we're making, okay?
Yes.
All right, do we get then the first and second?
We need someone to make the
Motion?
motion.
Motion, yeah.
I'll make a motion.
Okay, Renee?
I'll
And
second.
And Pat? Seconds. Could I get a roll call, please?
I have a comment.
Okay.
Okay, I just wanted to say thank you again to Lisa for all the hard work you've done on this, collecting information from everybody. Your budgets have always been phenomenal. You've always been honest with us each month, and I just want to thank you again. I also want to thank council for all the input you've put into this budget. No matter your views on different items, we do all come together, and we do all talk about those views, and I'm glad we're all able to do that at the council, and I want to say thank you.
Thank you. I thank the department heads for engaging and Maggie for all her work as well in helping to get this through.
Yes, absolutely. Thank you to everyone.
Okay, let's see here.
We'll do the roll call vote.
Okay, Saban. Yes. Bartleson.
Yes.
Lobes.
Yes.
Bergbauer.
Yes.
Galogly.
Yes.
McDonald.
Yes.
Karas.
Yes.
Kostecki.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Okay. Where are we at?
Oh,
This
yes.
one?
Yes.
FN3?
Yes.
Okay.
The property casualty and workers' comp insurance renewals. What I presented to you last time was a draft. We have final numbers from the insurance carriers, and it lowered our premium by a whopping $400. So nothing's changed, other than that we're looking at $400 less than we initially proposed to you.
Okay. Now I can ask for, okay. Could I get a motion to approve resolution number 22-106? 108, excuse me.
I'll make that motion.
Okay, JR, and second by Renee.
We'll get a
let's see
roll
here.
call vote on that. Could we get a roll call vote?
Saban?
Yes.
Bartleson?
Yes?
Lobes?
Yes.
Bergbauer?
Yes.
Gallogley?
Yes.
McDonald?
Yes.
Harris?
Yes.
Kostecki?
Yes.
Motion passes.
Joanne, there's one more resolution in that same line item. 22-109 that we'll look for a vote on.
I apologize.
It's in the
here.
same line.
Is
There's
it?
just two
Okay.
resolutions in there.
Oh, yes, okay, go ahead.
Yes, so we're looking for approval for Resolution 22-109.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
So, who was the
Gallogley?
first?
And Karen?
Okay, JR and Renee?
And me.
Or Karen?
Karen.
It was Karen.
It was
Oh,
It was
Karen.
JR
It wasn't
and
Renee.
Karen.
Okay, Karen, okay. Alrighty,
And a roll call vote on that.
could I get a roll call, please?
Yep. Saban? Yes. Bartleson?
Yes?
Lobes?
Yes.
Bergbauer?
Yes.
Gallogley?
Yes.
McDonald?
Yes.
Karas?
Yes.
Kostecki?
Yes.
We have a quorum. I'm sorry, motion passes. Quorum.
Okay, so, that looks like, can we,
I have something in new business.
new business?
Yeah,
Okay,
I want to
ahead.
go back to what Karen said. I thought that was a pretty smart comment. I think that our liaison for that group would be able to tell us what's going on. But if we had objections, that is a good question. How do we handle it? I mean, because we're just asking this group to do everything for the city, and if it doesn't work for everybody, I don't know. I think it is something that we need to discuss. Yeah.
I'm the liaison, so our meeting this week was canceled because everybody's got so much going on. So I will ask that at the next meeting.
Great, thank you.
So your thought would be something like, we as a council would be able to put eyes on what was proposed in terms of if it was a piece of artwork that was going up? I mean, is that kind of what we're thinking as far as giving feedback in terms of what?
That's what I feel, is because if it involves the city and they're
Right.
doing something that maybe somebody might have an objection to, I think having a liaison there is probably a pretty good idea.
I think we got to be careful with this when it comes to art. When I was on H&A, when we were talking about just something like putting the mural up on Lock and Mule, it's like H&A really could only vote on the process of putting the mural up, not what the art piece was. So, I mean, we're on a tricky, slippery slope here when we actually say what art, who picks the art and what art can go up. So I don't know how
So
we're gonna.
that's where I'd like
currently, the H&A, they govern what goes on downtown historic area. And anything outside of that, as long as it meets our sign ordinances, we can't regulate content. There are things that we have to be mindful of, ensuring that we are neutral in the actual, the piece itself. Now, art is in the eye of the beholder, and it's sometimes within someone's taste, and it could be outside of someone's taste. So that's one of the things that has to be very cautious. Oftentimes, these artwork are on privately owned buildings. They're not necessarily on city public right-of-way, except for certain projects that are approved through permitting process that goes to the city. It is, kind of, we want to be cautious of the city council itself, dictating or regulating how things go, because currently there are already the process set in place. If the city council believes that there should be more regulations done by the city council, we could certainly review other ordinances in other communities and how they regulate it and how to better do that. But more people that you have, in the kitchen, you end up kind of getting a mess in the kitchen. So we want to be mindful of that. And if it's not something that is, not working, we'll address it. And certainly Lance and I and Ben could look at what has been done in the past, what we can, do a little bit better, but obviously, we do have to be mindful that these are,
I
they
think
they are
Karen had pointed
considered to
out, I
be
think
speech.
Karen had
yeah.
pointed out it was a proposed duplication of what already exists in a business area.
Correct.
So are we hurting one business area to advantage another?
I would,
And I remember that coming from the really long presentation last time we were here, that the one idea that they had was what Karen had mentioned.
Right, that was my concern, like if we're going to put something that already exists downtown, it makes sense that we just promote what's already there and drive our residents to be like, hey, take your picture by this cool mural that's outside Wings, and while you're there, like, stop in Hollingsworth and get some pizza at Villanova and show our north side businesses some love. Downtown kind of has a lot of its own driving force already, so I don't see the need to duplicate something that already exists.
And I think we can take, or go ahead.
Yeah,
I
we'll
would-
take a look at it, but that breezeway itself, is actually owned by the developer who's building that building. There's a right-of-way easement
Easement,
that they have granted for public access, but the building owner
private property,
themselves could put whatever they deem necessary. We want to be mindful, like events, we don't want business to be competing against each other, but at the same time, that's the nature of a privately, market. That's the nature of a free market, and the businesses and property owners putting up what they
Right.
deem is
And that's why we asked if it
appropriate.
was a public right-of-way.
Yeah, it's an easement that they own the property, but they are giving easement access to pedestrians.
Public access.
I would highly recommend that you use your liaison to just gather information for you. I would not recommend that you put yourselves in a position to evaluate and review
Oh, not
art.
at all. We're just
Um,
raising some questions about
yeah.
duplication.
Sure.
Yeah, I think between the permit department, the H&A, and staff, and your liaison, I think good feedback back to them, goes back to the committee, they'll change it up or come up with their ideas, so, yeah. I don't think it's council business per se.
Okay. Okay. Anything else? All right, is it safe to say? Could I get a motion to adjourn?
Second.
Renee and Mark. Let's see here, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay. Meeting is adjourned.